All right, so this is that, we'll call it a picture frame that I've been working on. And I think, well, obviously the glue's all set. I used epoxy on this. It's set in about an hour. It gets certainly hard enough to touch in about an hour. It fully cures in 24. And it's been pretty close to that. So there's that, little wax paper. Oh, see, I put that wax paper on to squeeze this joint flat, and it did a little blocks. Oh, oh, oh. I got glue all over this stuff. And I've got to clean it off. But the surfaces are flat. All I have to do is get the glue off. I had shellacked all this, so the glue should pop right off, theoretically. Anyway, let's pull this frame clamp off. If you recall, I had used a wrench, pliers, to tighten, so it's wicked tight. And these are, oh, finger busting, tiny wing nuts. Which is good, because if they were any bigger, I'd have a hard time, you know, they'd be in the way a lot. So I guess I don't mind, I do mind, but this is better than them being in the way all the time if they were, you know, bigger. Boy, they tighten up. And then they're loose. All right, good. So loosen, 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 loosen. Should pop off. The glue does not really stick to the metal, but it doesn't. How to say it? It doesn't really stick, but it adheres a little bit. Yeah. Snap right off. Snapped off clean. Before I use these again, I probably want to clean them. I think maybe I'll do that now. I'll do that. Let me clean a little bit of glue that's in the joints inside these corners. I'll clean those. I'll put the clamps away and clean the bench a little bit, and then we'll take a look at what kind of shape the frame is in. Let's do that. So, looking for chisel. So, this is the back. The glue that oozed out of the joint, or that was pressed out of the joint because I squeezed this together, had pieces of wax paper on the underside and those plywood cawls, and now I've got this film of glue. Hopefully I can get it off. Oh, look at that. It's going to take some fussing. Everything takes fussing, I guess. But with the shellac sealing the pores of the wood, the epoxy, however hard it gets, doesn't get a chance to bite. And so I got this. This is the hardest part of the epoxy, of course, is when it's thin, because it's you know, there's no edge to bang into. But all in all, thin film. Okay, I'm scratching it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this, get the epoxy as much as I can off, and then take the sander to it and sand the whole underside. It'll take everything off, including the shellac, but I can do that again. So far, this has worked out pretty well. I don't want to take too much of the, yeah, I'm scratching the frame. I'm trying to move too fast. That's really what it comes down to. And this isn't clamped down, so I can't push with both hands and guide it. Let's stop breaking the rules here. The rules are secure your work. I'm a lot more accurate with 2 hands. I got a little bit of glue inside the rabbit, the glass rabbit. I'm going to have to get that out. But all in all, this went pretty well. Hey!
Talking to the viewers.
I am. They're my only friends,
Hey.
it turns out.
Hey, wait a minute.
Well, the truth is the truth. Watch out, things might fall down as you walk
All
around.
right.
Um,
Well, I've got the old jam out over at the Abraham Wendell house.
well, that's, I guess, probably a good thing.
It is. It was put together, I'm guessing 25 years ago. It doesn't have an original oak header, but wherever the header is exposed, then it is worn and looks, you know, it looks battle worn.
Battle worn.
Yeah,
That's fascinating.
weathered.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got an hour and 15 minutes to get the new jam in and then prop those doors up in place because my helper over there has to leave at 3:30, 3:45. So
Well,
I'm looking at the way they built it is they fastened the jam header to the jam sides, screwed it all together, and then propped it up in place. And that wasn't the tack that I was going to take. Do you want to finish that up first, or?
well, I'll get back to it.
Okay.
So that glue that squeezed out, it's kind of, it's a little film. You can see what I'm doing, I think. I intend to sand all this. But if I can get the lumps of glue off, the film of glue off, so I don't have to, so it doesn't throw off the sanding, right? That's all. The smoother it is before you start sanding, the less time you have to spend sanding. And I've got this, and I could, you know, it's just a thing that I think. But when I think of sanding, I always feel like it's right on the edge of distorting the surface of the wood. I mean, not that I'm against that. I love getting the old smooth plane out and distorting the surface of the wood, but I guess in a way that I want, not in a rounding everything off sort of way. So that's good. And I have a little bit of glue on the inside of these glass rabbits, and that'll clean right out. All right, I'll swing it around and do another one. I'm not at all unhappy with how this is going. That's in the frame, so I guess I'll continue. Oh, boy, that worked out. Look at that, huh? When it's a little bit thicker, it has a little bit more body and hangs together so you can peel it right off. Nice. Good. Good. I'll get that. And one more. The other side, you know, I'm not avoiding, but we both know it's not going to be as simple as this. This one's, you know, not biting. I probably done this too many times with this chisel, and it's not toothy enough. It's not. Come on. Yeah, I'm not having any luck with this one. Just too thin. All right. Well, we'll clean that up. Glass rabbit looks good. Glass rabbit looks good. Cool. All right. That's the back. All right. Well, I've made a little bit of a challenge for myself here, but we're just gonna, you know, we're gonna just approach it. See how it goes. Hopefully it'll chip. That did just fine. Oh, that was, excuse me. Good, good. I've got a little nubbin right here that's being a little tough. There we go. There we go. That's good. That's good. That's good. Nice. That's smooth. It came out really, really well. Now if I can get this stuff off. And I think I can. No wood. No wood. Good. Cool. All right, this didn't work out. This is just going to be way too time consuming. I mean, I'll do it, but in the future I've got to figure out something better than this. Flat stock cleans up fast. This stuff, not so much. So all the shapes, got some gouges that I'll use to chip inside here. That's good. That didn't work at all. Okay. All right. That's that. That's that. That's good. That's good. Yeah, this, boy, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. Too much work. Too much work. I mean, the whole point of getting the miters right is to show off, so to speak, the complexity of the moldings. But if I have to mush them all up to get the glue off, then I'm not really succeeding. All right, good enough, good enough. That, well, it's not the end of the world. Do a little sanding, see if that helps. This is one of those I'm going to, all of it's going to depend an awful lot on the corner of the sandpaper, getting into the little edges. I don't mind the shellac. I mean, the shellac is a tool. It's a thing that helps me get the finish that I want, protecting the wood from the vagaries of the epoxy. But it's the wood I want to try to protect. All right, that's okay. I'm being kind of negative about this. That looks pretty good. I think I'm happy. Come on, come on. All right, all right, all right, all right. Good, good. All right, it'll be okay. I'll do that a couple more times. Cool. All right. All right. Try it again. Obviously you hope for the best, right? That's good. That's good. Good. Pretty good. Not perfect. Oh yeah, now see that one was thick enough it cracked. You heard it crack? That's what we're looking for. Nice. Good. A little bit here. That's nice. There it is. Nice. All right. A little bit right here. Now I'm using my chisel as a scraper. This is terrible. After a little bit of this, you have no one to blame but yourself when your chisel doesn't feel sharp later. Oh well. Anyway, here we go into this little crack or declivity right here. Oh yeah, see how that was thick enough that it broke out? Nice. Because it's not really stuck to the shellacked finish. See, that's just, that's what we're looking for. All this time. That's great. I don't mind this. I could do this. I mean, I could do this all day, right? I could improve this like that, like that, like that. Now I'm left with that puddle in there, and hear that? Snapping right up because it's thick enough. Pardon me if I'm in the way. So, look at that. That looked terrible, and now it's super. It'll clean right up. Okay, so this is joint 3. It's the best one yet. It's typical. And into here. And into here. A little bit here on this, all these little fillets. All right, and I'll sand this. I'll probably move this a little bit so I get at that edge a little bit better. See you in a bit. All right, so this is a little bit of the last one. I got a chunk out of this joint right here. That looks good. Now there's, okay, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go after this spot right here first, so it doesn't get in my way. See that little chunk? So much easier when they come out in little chunks. Which is why, I guess, I don't know if it's why, but it's justification for why I don't try to clean this when I'm gluing it. Because you just, my theory is that you just smear it around so that it's thin and everywhere. And everywhere obviously is a problem, and thin is hard to get up, hard to get it cleaned. Like this little spot right here, if things go right, will just snap right out, a couple of moves. All right, that didn't happen. But that did. See it? This is what gives me hope. All right. So I guess basically what it would come down to is the rationalization for why I'm never going to learn to do it any better. Because if in the end I can make it turn out like this, and this took me 10 minutes, I'm probably never going to change. Anyway, all right. So next I'll slop some shellac on. I'll do a little touch-up sanding and slop some shellac on the ends that I've mussed up. And we'll probably be ready to put a coat of varnish on tomorrow. Great stuff.